Hello and welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm your game bastard for this game, Austin.
I'm Kyle.
Todd.
Corey.
And today we're playing the, I believe, ultimate episode of Cold Shadows.
We'll see.
We've not been too derailed up to this point, however hard John Dynasty might try to drink his way into oblivion.
Kyle has been contacted by Netflix. They want a John Dynasty spinoff series.
You know what?
which I'm
That
looking forward to.
absolutely sounds like the name of a Netflix show.
John Dynasty, Spy.
Canceled before release.
Somehow it would be, to Corey's point, shelved by Warner Discovery before ever seeing the light of day.
Chris Pratt is John Dynasty.
Oh, no way. No way, no.
Well, who would you pick, Kyle?
Danny McBride
Oh,
could be a John Dynasty. I'm not saying that's who I would cast. I'm saying somebody in that vein.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a Benedict Cumberbatch type.
Yeah, yeah.
I love our casting process here on the show. So, why don't you guys tell us about your characters? We already know Kyle is John Dynasty. What does
Yeah.
that mean, Kyle?
Well, his real name, his Christian name is Bubba Talbert. John Dynasty is his code name. He is an FSB agent from Shipbritches, Missouri. He likes to drink and punch people and drink.
And Todd, what about you?
My character's name is Stan Paul, codename Star Child. When he's not spying, he's rocking and instructing yoga.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the yoga.
As a matter of fact, he has his own brand of yoga pants that he sells that have his likeness on them.
Where on them?
It's right on the ass cheeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was thinking the crotch.
Guess what's the
His
tongue?
face.
On the crotch is just the star. That's where the star is.
It's gross.
Just start with his eye.
Just a star with the eye in the middle. Yeah.
Peek it out.
You can go to starchild.com and you can purchase all of these items.
Don't forget to put Cham at checkout for that 10% bastard discount.
Discount code CHAM at starchild.com.
See, if you haven't figured it out yet, our spies are very subtle.
Yeah.
And speaking of subtle, Corey, tell us about your character.
Well, I'm playing Dr. Puddles is his code name. His shelter name is Enzo Picciotto. I am a rescue. What can be done?
Oh, shit. All right, so when last we left our agents, they were investigating the death of an agency contact. Our agents worked for the Command for the Hindrance of Anarchy and Mayhem, or CHAM, and they were investigating the death of a contact who was to take delivery of some intel regarding a new threat to the intelligence community. And we have since figured out that that threat is codenamed Crudesco.
Ah.
So they went to historic Fort Charlotte in Nassau in the Bahamas.
Now, is Nassau, much like Paducah, a Crudesco creative city? Little trivia for...
Yeah.
That's what we are, right?
Yeah.
Nice, subtle, deep cut there for people that understand
UNESCO
city designations.
UNESCO, yeah.
I would also take issue with some of your terminology, Austin. I feel like investigate is a strong word for what we've been doing. Probably too strong.
We did a look.
Yeah. We took a look. That best describes it.
Glance, really.
Yeah.
John Dynasty knocked someone out and picked up a briefcase, and that's
a Saturday for
as
John
intriguing
Dynasty.
as we get. The rest of the episode last time was spent escaping the fortress while they were being pursued by an enemy agent.
Which we could have done very quickly if we had not shopped so much.
Yeah. A lot of kiosks were utilized.
Enzo got the new ear piercing. At the piercing pagoda, yes.
And if you need a cell phone cover, we have Starchild cell phone covers that you can also get at starchild.com.
Yes.
After speaking with the director of CHAM, the agents have learned that they are now going to be searching codename Blacksmith's yacht in order to find out how he initially discovered the Crudesco threat.
What is it with our mysteries and yachts?
Wow, I don't know.
That's a good point.
Well, it was really weird when it showed up in the One Ring.
All right.
Yeah, the journey phase was really easy, though.
There's a lot of yachts in mysteries and spy stories in cinema and TV for whatever reason.
Well, we know how this story's going to end when the orca attacks us.
Man, I'll fight a dolphin.
So the gun barrel opens on the bow of this yacht. floating in Paradise Harbor at the edge of Paradise Island in Nassau. The agents pull up in the Humvee they were given at the airstrip and take a good long look at this pretty gigantic, very luxurious yacht. Think about the Wolf of Wall Street's yacht.
Real quick, Austin, since we've rested and everything, are injuries taken care of at this point?
How many do you have?
Well, I've got field hospital as a operational advantage, so I use that, but I think Kyle was the most hurt amongst us.
Yeah, I thought you used that on me at the end of last session because I had, 2 or 3 injuries.
Oh, okay. I heal everyone. There is enough to go around.
Hey there, rock and rollers. Speaking of healing, Star Child has an exclusive brand of vitamin supplements and protein shakes available at starchild.com.
He's just shouting this out the window.
You never know where your customers are going to be, Austin. Once we get there, John Dynasty gets out, puts hands on his hips, standing on the dock, looking up and down. Well, fellas, I think the only way we're going to properly investigate this sumbitch is to get it out on the water. And he starts casting off. John Dynasty's still in his fucking boat.
Okay.
He may get there eventually, but you guys have not boarded yet.
Okay.
So you guys are on the kind of central pier of the marina looking up at this gigantic yacht. You can see in gold, flowery letters up front its name. It's just called the Caitlin, named after new patron Caitlin Matchett.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Or Caitlin Machete, whichever one you'd prefer to go by.
I know which one is more rad.
As you start to climb the gangplank, you see a figure standing at the top of the walkway. And you can't tell exactly who it is yet, but he calls out, "Hello, who goes there?"
John fucking Dynasty, you floppy bastard.
Oh, my word. Who is that?
Don't worry, I am this man's doctor. He has the shouting sickness. I am the Dr. Puddles.
As you approach, you see that it is one of the most stereotypical skippers you have ever seen on a yacht. He's got like a blue turtleneck and the cap. He looks like the character from Tintin.
Captain Steubing.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Dynasty is having to fight down the urge to escalate immediately to violence.
I will prescribe you the chill pill. I believe Star Child sells these at starchild.com. That is starchild.com. Or .it in Italy. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't even say that the way you say it.
So the skipper approaches and he said, "Oh, what business have you on this yacht?"
We come to investigate. We are the cops.
Star Child here, and I was wondering if I could interest you in my Star Child brand of yacht anchors.
Right.
You can find those at starchild.com.
Yes, well, we have plenty of anchors on this ship, but the owner of this yacht is away for the moment, and I need to know who you are if I'm going to let you aboard.
Well, hey, pal, I hate to break it to you, but the owner of this yacht is dead as John Daly's diaper, and he ain't getting any more alive.
What the fuck?
He ain't getting any more alive, and we're spies just like he was, so we're going to take a look around.
Tell me more of this diaper.
So we're coming aboard, Captain Navy Hat.
Got him.
Oh, my word, Mr. Winter is dead? How did this happen?
Yes, he is quite dead, but what can be done? We all die one day. I myself am still in mourning. My beloved cat, Nochi, died 2 days ago. I ran her over in the driveway.
He killed his own cat.
It was the accident. It is the same way my beloved second youngest son, Tostino, died.
Oh my God.
He was riding Nochi, yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. But these things happen.
It's a colorful family history.
Yes, I still have. My wife is still DiGiorno. She still lives. And our other son, the Red Baron.
I guess this is a perfect time to let everyone out there know that you can get your own brand of Star Child pet coffins.
God. So John Dynasty forces his way onto the yacht. And by force, I mean he's just going to go on there unless he's stopped.
We are the colleagues of Mr. Winter.
Wait a minute. The drunk one over here, you said you're spies?
Yep. Work for Cham, Chief.
You folks have worked with Mr. Winter before.
Well, if by work you mean we both got drunk at an international pong contest one year, then yeah.
All right, then I think there may be something aboard the ship you need to see.
Yeah, see, John Dynasty ain't totally stupid. He figured this guy was also a spy, so he thought just cut to the chase.
Yep.
Yes, the boat spy.
Follow me.
We follow him.
And he leads you down several deck levels to what looks like a very luxurious quarters, which has to be at the bow of the boat. There are several portholes looking out.
Wait, there's portals?
Giant Stargate.
A common mistake, Corey.
I find where he come from. It is from the outer world.
No, it's actually a character, Dr. Portals.
Okay.
Oh.
If you have a look around his quarters, you may find a few different things of your interest. But suffice it to say, I believe Mr. Winter was in danger. Now, I've been sweeping the ship trying to find other evidence, but this is all I've managed to find so far. I'll leave you to it and go see to the rest of the ship.
We investigate. And by we, I mean one of my compatriots that has better investigation skills.
Star Child does have a 5 in perception.
Okay.
That's better than me.
So that means you're already rolling 5d6. Todd, is there any other dice you want to add to that pool? If Star Child has some promotional magnifying glasses or something like that, I think that would make your code name relevant.
Yeah, Star Child takes out his patented Star Child spy kit.
What all's in that?
Well, it's got a magnifying glass. It's got lockpicks. On the cover of the kit, there's a picture of me surrounded by fire and riding on the back of a wolf. Starchild.com.
John Dynasty owns 5 of them.
In every one of his trucks.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 6d6 that I get to roll?
So if your code name is relevant, then you get plus 2d.
Okay, so that'll be 7d6.
Okay. And obviously our target number is just 10.
24.
Okay. Starchild whips out this kit and opens it up, and all of a sudden it unfolds impossibly into this like 2-foot tall stack of shelves that he's able to just pull shit off of.
Much like John Dynasty's tackle box.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's an inspiration to us all.
He starts looking around the room. Inside the nightstand next to the bed, there is a letter from Blacksmith's CFO, the CFO of his front company. And it's basically begging him to stop dodging these solicitors that are trying to get a meeting, who are trying to secure secondary properties. Basically, someone's trying to buy properties off of codename Blacksmith, a.k.a. Josh Winter. And he's been dodging their calls. The second thing you find is at the bar, since you rolled so high, I'm just going to make this happen without any other rolls. But at the bar, where John Dynasty has already set up camp,
Yep.
Starchild feels around the edge of the furniture, and underneath the bar surface finds a hidden switch. And part of the bar flips over and reveals this very dead tech looking computer, but it's switched on and you see that it's extremely state of the art. It just looks like a Macintosh 1. When you look through it, you can see that it contains an email from Special Agent Kenneth Bousseau, named for patron member Kenny Bussey. Now, if you remember from one of Neil's monologues, Kenneth Bousseau is a French agent who was searching for information on Crudesco all across Asia and Europe. So it appears that he got in touch with Blacksmith at some point, because what you see in the email is basically a desperate message that says, Cape Town is in danger, Crudesco Materials 1145, Nassau.
I do not remember this monologue, but I remember the very funny one where he kept saying Jeff Galooly.
Hey there, rock and rollers. All this talk of Blacksmith reminds me that you can get your official Starchild Heavens on Fire blacksmithing materials kit at starchild.com.
I can vouch for this. He has very good ore.
Yes.
It's an anvil and a box of raw iron ingots.
And the dwarf is quite kind.
All right, fellas. Well, this looks like a hell of a clue. All we got to do is get to Crudesco Materials at 11:45, right?
Yes, and we will kill this man.
Hang on.
What?
Yep.
So if you recall, the Crudesco Materials at 1145 is what John Dynasty already took possession of.
I mean, yes, as a player, I know that. This is called role-playing, Austin.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, we kill everyone.
My intelligence is like a -1, I'm pretty sure. I have to give you dice. When I'm
So your cell phone buzzes.
John Dynasty takes it out. Also, the whole time...
It's not John Dynasty's.
What does that have to do with him taking his cell phone out? Also, I would want to point out that this entire time, he has been holding the briefcase we stole.
Yeah.
Now is not the time for the Candy Crush.
It's Dr. Puddles.
Hello.
And it is your control ops agent wizard. Saying, hello, bastards.
Hello, the wizard.
Are you on the yacht? Did you make it on the yacht? Did you guys find it okay?
We are on the large boat, yes.
Are you sure it's the right one?
There is many things that are blacksmiths here.
So what did you find?
We find the email of destiny.
You tell him about the letter that you find from the CFO and from the email from Kenneth Busso. He types up some stuff for a minute and then gets back on the phone. So with this new intel we have on Credesco being a enemy organization, this is very disturbing. If someone was trying to secure properties from Blacksmith, and if this email says that Cape Town is in danger, his main factory is in Cape Town. What if this organization's trying to capture his factory and turn it into their headquarters?
Well, I think there's only one thing to do.
What's that?
We take this yacht to fucking Cape Town, fellas. I can drive a boat.
Shot the gun.
Cape Town is where Star Child headquarters is. That's our manufacturing plant is in Cape Town, so I could look in on the fellas, see how they're doing.
I can't think of... Just imagining the labor violations going on in Star Child's factories.
Because we're just about to introduce our newest product line. It's Star Child Lick It Up ice cream makers.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, everybody make a perception check.
Okay, I have 3D in perception.
5.
I have 3 also.
Got a 12.
8.
18.
John Dynasty's feet are curled up on the bar stool that he's sitting on, so he doesn't notice this right away.
Shocker.
But the other agents look down and realize they're standing in about an inch of water.
I'm sorry, I must have dozed off. I did not mean to wet the floor.
Oh, man, I wish I had one of my official Star Child sump pumps right now.
It was the daydream.
You run to the portholes and you realize the ship is slowly sinking.
Beer 30.
What are you guys doing?
Quick to the escape pod.
Wait, why are we leaving? This yacht is awesome.
So we're still at the dock, right?
For the time being.
So the yacht is sinking. We are on the yacht, but it is still anchored at the dock.
Yep.
I say we step off the boat.
Good idea.
It's just crazy enough to work.
I grab as many beers as I can.
So I will remind everybody, you're about 2 decks down in the bowels of this ship. So John Dynasty grabs some beers and runs for the hatch of the luxury quarters, and you realize the door is locked tight.
Well, I got a gun.
That captain is the son of a beach.
Star Child reaches into his official Star Child spy kit and takes out the wetsuit.
Excellent
We're
misdirect.
saved. Credesco.
It does sound like something you'd say just after, like peeing a certain distance or something, Dr. Puddles.
Well, I'm going to escalate immediately to violence and hold my beer.
Okay.
So I'm going to have 7 dice to rip this door off its hinges.
Okay.
So is this one of those doors on a ship that has a big wheel you got to turn to open? Is that what we're talking about when you say hatch?
It's not a full-on, like, submarine hatch.
Oh, okay.
But for our purposes, just think of it as a normal door, because the decks down in the bowels of this ship are still very luxurious and very kind of homey.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll 7 dice to try to rip the door open.
Okay? Tell me how you're building your dice pool there.
Violence and hold my beer.
Okay.
I'm holding beer.
All right. The enemy working against you has spent 1 trust point.
Well, I'm going to spend 1 and get 4 dice.
Okay, so then just keep your dice pool as it is, because I was going to take away 4.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, you made it.
20, 30?
I see 2 6s.
It's somewhere around 30.
Everything goes quiet for a moment while Star Child and Dr. Puddles panic momentarily, staring down at the water sloshing around their feet.
Oh, no, I am panicked.
And there's a great grunt from and a splintering of wood, and they look over, and John Dynasty's like, "Do we need this?" And he's just holding the door.
Boot heel strength.
And you start hauling ass down the hallway. As you pass by the radio room, you actually hear a signal going out in Morse code, and you can hear water running from somewhere, and it's getting heavier and heavier. The water's at about halfway up your shins now.
Well, does this mean somebody has to be in the radio room? Is that what you're saying? Or
There's no one in the radio room. You can just see that it is automatically set to broadcast. There seems to be a Morse code signal going out on repeat.
Can Dr. Puddles use his intellect to see if he can translate the message?
Sure. And I'm going to give this one a -2 dice difficulty bonus just because you're rushed and in a hurry.
Well, can I use my code name here? It's Dr. Puddles. Pretty sure I'm standing in one.
That's relevant to your situation.
Right.
How's it relevant to what you're trying to do?
Well, he learned Morse code underwater.
How'd that go?
It was fine for me, but one of my sons drowned. Do not recall his name.
Yeah, don't go to the Morse code school in Venice.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and add your 2 dice,
Okay. So that puts me to 4.
I guess.
It's 14.
All right. The other 2 guys run past without even pausing, but Dr. Puddles stands for a moment, mesmerized by the sound. And having obviously learned Morse code underwater, this gives him fluency in all Morse code communications.
Ah, yes.
And we see the shot like from The Hangover where all those nonsense symbols are floating in front of his face. You realize that the message being broadcast is that Blacksmith is dead, Cape Town is secured, Night Owl is coming home. And it triggers something in your memory, but you're not sure exactly what right at this moment.
Let's see. None of my children were killed by owls, so that's not it.
But after all, John Dynasty is the one carrying the briefcase full of agent dossiers.
Ah.
So as soon as Dr. Puddles comprehends the message, he keeps traipsing on. By this point, the water's up knee high.
Tee. And I traipse.
And you make your way slowly up the metal steps of the decks. You don't see anyone else in sight. Eventually, you kind of slosh your way up onto the outer deck. And you can see the boat is already kind of crooked as it's beginning to sink into the harbor.
I come out guns blazing.
Well, that's a good thing because you see a figure standing on the pier watching as the boat goes down.
I'm immediately shooting. Immediately shooting. I run and jump off the side of the boat, shooting through the air, going, ah!
All right, we're going with that. As soon as Dr. Puddles emerges onto the outer deck, he just sees Star Child staring in gaped wonder as John Dynasty leaps over the side of the ship, firing blindly toward the pier as he dives into the water. And so this figure is going to, this is all violence in this game is an opposed risk, of course. And so this figure is going to use his athleticism to make his way to a vehicle waiting up at the head of the pier.
Well, I'm using my violence and my reckless behavior. I'm risking my life, so I get to use Director Neil's Dangerous. I'm a cold-blooded killer, so I get a free wager on all violence risks. This involves speed because I got to get in before he gets away, so I'm going to use my quickness. And my reputation inspires fear, so he gets a reduce of 1 die to his roll. That's all.
All right, so how many total dice are you rolling?
11, and I'm going to use one of those trust points to get 4 more.
Jesus.
Okay.
I wager 1 automatically because of one of my violence things, and I'm going to wager 1 more, my little D6. I'll call him Tiny Fred.
Oh, okay.
Look, this is all I do, okay? I got one thing. All you guys got your smarts and your Detective Star Child kiss kits. I got violence.
All right, here we go.
Excuse us as we take a half-hour break for Austin and Kyle to count up their dice.
Yeah, we rolled quite a few. And I'm re-rolling because my lucky trait lets me re-roll 3 ones. All right.
Did you get 54?
Jesus.
No?
I did not.
Oh.
No, John Dynasty, please stop shooting. That is my daughter.
Because I got 54.
All right. And you wagered 2?
I wagered 2.
All right.
Rest in peace, Freshetta. What can be done? We must move on. I did not agree with the casting of Sofia Coppola in the first place. when Nona was busy in the jail.
So time seems to slow down as John Dynasty dives through the air, firing 2 pistols. Nobody knows where the second one came from.
Wait, where is my pistol?
There's a 6-pack of beer just dangling from one arm.
Yeah, his hands loop through it.
Yeah.
No, the dolphins.
And he smiles to himself as he sees some of his bullets hit home. The skipper, running down the pier, takes 2 in the shoulder and 1 in the side, taking 3 injuries as he gets to a very beautiful blue classic Mustang and struggles to get inside.
Oh, they called that the John Dynasty Stigmata.
This would be a great time for Star Child to mention that you can get exclusive Star Child triage kits at starchild.com.
4 out of 5 people may be shot by a redneck.
I mean, it's true.
But that's all John Dynasty gets to appreciate because he lands with a gigantic splash in the water. Kind of belly flops, actually. So he scrambles up onto the dock in a jiffy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pursue this guy, of course. He's the bad guy.
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
Dr. Puddles is going to get off the boat.
Great first step.
Star Child will do the same.
Dr. Puddles is going to attempt to shoot one of the tires of his Mustang.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Smart.
You hear the Mustang roar to life, and just as it does, the skipper sticks his arm out the window. It's his bad arm, though, so I'm going to take away 2 dice and fire back in the direction of that ruffian-looking Italian.
I'm very clean.
So, Corey, how are you building your dice pool for taking a shot at the bad guy, who Kyle has already figured out is Night Owl? The same man who was spying on you from the Eagle Cafe, the same man who was watching over Laura B. trying to assassinate you at the fortress, and the master assassin who is now trying to clear up the trail of evidence before Crodesco takes over the factory owned by Blacksmith in Cape Town.
Where were you when my children died? This is fishy. Dr. Puddles is going to use one of his operational advantages, supply cache. A quartermaster can smuggle 3 free items into the field for your use without waiting.
All right. Now, I feel like you used one operational advantage so far already.
Yeah, I used Field Hospital, but as a mastermind...
Oh, you get 2.
Yeah, you always plan ahead, get 1 extra operational advantage.
Good call. So what did you get supply cached to you, I'm assuming, before this scene?
So Wizard drone drops a complete setup like the marksman used in the Olympics. Like one of those little headgear glasses things to assist him with his aim.
Okay, I'll give you 2 dice for that.
Okay.
So Dr. Puddles hops down on the pier, sees Night Owl getting into his Mustang, and takes aim with his silenced pistol. And as he does so, there's this buzz, and this little drone just kind of zips overhead, and this little piece of headgear just falls neatly right down on top of Dr. Puddles' head. And this lens unfolds from the side of it like a piece of technology from an 80s movie.
Yeah.
And it magnifies like 4 or 5 times.
So is this an opposed roll?
Yes.
Since he's shooting at me?
And since you're shooting, this is going to be violence.
Okay. Can I also use my cover in this situation? You get an extra D if you use your cover.
Cover's not relevant here.
I disagree. As a podiatrist, what are tires but the feet of a car? Huh?
No, cover's not relevant.
Fuck
here.
you. It's okay.
No reason. To
Okay, so I'm rolling 4D.
Water tires, but the feet of a car.
That's right. Puddles got a 15.
Okay, so you are successful. However, Night Owl rolled a 23,
That's okay. I'll go to see my children.
and he wagered 2 dice.
Shits.
Dr. Puddles smiles to himself as he sees a bullet penetrate the front driver's side tire, but it doesn't last long because he feels one bullet tear through his shoulder and another right through the center of his stomach.
The pain.
So you take 3 injuries.
Hey.
As Dr. Puddles staggers, you hear the roar of the Mustang, and it still spins around and begins to kind of trundle out of the parking lot area around the marina. Obviously a little bit out of control now because not only does it have a flat tire, but they have awful suspensions.
Can Star Child use his athleticism to leap upon the car?
Now this car is about 25 yards away. It's a fairly long pier.
Can Star Child use his athleticism to run 25 yards and leap onto the car?
He does have his Star Child brand trainers on.
I
to
do,
Get
yeah.
there.
So by the time you get up to the end of the pier, the car is going to be out of the lot. If you want to pursue, you still have your Humvee there.
Let's pile into the Humvee.
But of course, you have a bleeding and mewling Dr. Puddles to deal with now.
It is okay. You may leave me to my fate. I will lay here and use our friend Wizard to follow the disabled vehicle, and I will tell you what to do.
Well, Todd, if Star Child wants to drive the car, John Dynasty, who, let's be honest, is not the safest driver,
True.
will happily ride.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Puddles is going to stay behind and help coordinate with Wizard any kind of tactical recon we can do.
Nice.
Okay.
My license ain't suspended. I don't know why y'all keep saying that.
This is not a boat.
And by the way, the Humvee does have the exclusive Star Child steering wheel cover. It's got fire and naked chicks on it.
You need
It's
that
cool.
to keep it from getting hot.
That's right. So yeah, we're going to give chase in the Humvee.
All right. The Humvee tears out onto the street through, at first, what is very thick traffic, but quickly gets out onto an open highway, and you see the Mustang about a half mile ahead. So we're going to do this like we did the covert pursuit in the fortress, in which everybody's going to basically take a turn in rounds. I'm just going to divide the action up into rounds. Now, remember, there's no initiative here. There's no assistance, especially on violence. So what we're basically going to do is everyone's going to try to make a maneuver of some kind, and depending on how we all roll, that's going to decide the order that we go in. So everybody, why don't you go ahead and tell me what you're going to try to do this first round?
Well, quick question. Are we driving along the side of the ocean? Like, is it a cliff? Because that's a very spy movie.
Yeah.
So right now you're in the midst of the tiny kind of city center area with this 4-lane highway kind of overlapping all of this. There's like a main drag that goes down the center of Paradise Island with the city on either side, kind of like New Orleans. Right now, that's all you can see. You know there is a way to head to the kind of main island of the Bahamas, or there is a road that kind of circumnavigates Paradise Island itself, which is more cliffside.
Okay, so like I said, Dr. Puddles is going to coordinate with Wizard. Basically, he's going to have like Wizard send a satellite image of the chase, and he's going to try to help John Dynasty and Star Child like maneuver the streets in the fastest possible way to try to cut off the Mustang.
Okay, that's super cool, so I'm going to allow that.
Okay.
I'm going to say that is one of the 3 supply cache items. I mean, since you just used one for that last action,
Okay.
I'll say that rolls over, and that this satellite is going to take up the remaining 2 slots.
Okay, that's fine.
From that supply cache,
Okay.
because that's a pretty big story note.
Sure.
But I like how that works, and I like that mechanic.
Well,
so we're gonna
spy
keep that
shit.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that would be using my intellect.
I'm going to say intellect or perception in certain areas are going to help you more often than not, depending on what you're trying to do. Because in certain areas, you may be trying to figure out and anticipate his next move. That's going to be more intellect.
Okay.
Perception is what's going to help you maybe direct the agents in a certain direction. Like if you're trying to coerce him to drive in a certain area where he's more vulnerable, stuff like that's going to be perception. So it's just going to kind of depend on what you want to do.
So I think I'll go with intellect here. I mean, my goal is to help them navigate the city down like roads that have less traffic, things like that, to get in a position to sideswipe him or cut him off.
Okay. Yeah, I'll call that intellect.
Okay,
That's
so
good.
I'll use intellect, and I'm going to use one of my aspects. I can use once per session teamwork. It's plus 3D when helping a fellow agent accomplish a common goal.
Perfect.
Okay, so it's 7 die.
That's 7 die. Okay. For every wager that you make on this one, Corey, I'm going to say the next round, they still get that benefit without you having to roll again.
Okay, I'm going to wager 2.
Okay. So that's going to be Corey's action. What about you guys?
Well, Star Child is driving, so I have a question, Austin. Star Child's driving ability plus his ability to take his cues from Dr. Puddles as far as where to turn and where to go, would that be considered perception, athleticism, or intellect?
So I'm going to say perception is going to be the virtue that you use for driving.
Okay.
Mostly because you're going to have to be reactive. Now, you guys aren't going to get a benefit from Corey's kind of Overwatch action in this round because he's still trying to make that happen. So for this first round, you guys are kind of improvising.
If we're improvising, then I am going to invoke reckless behavior. It's a plus 3D on any risk that is impetuous or spontaneous.
Okay.
Nothing more spontaneous than jumping in a Humvee and tearing ass after a blue Mustang.
Yeah. So Star Child's just doing some kick-ass driving. Kyle, what you doing?
Well, I think the reasonable thing here is to throw beer cans at pedestrians. Wait, no. I'm sorry. That's the old John Dynasty. I left that person behind 7 days ago.
That's who I was last week.
Yeah.
This is a new John Dynasty. I'm going to shoot this fucker. No, okay, so you said at first we're driving kind of through a city.
So you're on this main drag highway. I mean, it's still a 4-lane highway, but it's running through the middle of the city center. Think about the city kind of branching out on either side, but this is still kind of an overpass highway that is going through the middle.
Well, are there any large vehicles moving around, the tires of which I could shoot out that would crash and block the highway in front of the Mustang?
I mean, there's plenty.
I'm going to shoot it up.
They're all civilians.
So?
While Kyle tries to shoot out the wheels of a station wagon for some vacationers in front of the Mustang.
No, large trucks. Cement trucks or dump trucks.
Kyle, you have to use what's available right now.
Well, why would I shoot the tires of a station wagon? I'd just shoot the driver.
It's true.
You just got to aim over the car seat. Okay. All right. So everybody make your rolls.
Star Child's dice pool is 8.
All right. Together with his aspects and bonuses, Night Owl is rolling 9 dice.
Now, what is he trying to do?
He is trying to outmaneuver you in the traffic.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, I'm going to make 3 wagers, which is going to cut down on my total die result.
Okay, I've only got 5 dice, but I do have a free wager because this is violence.
Yep.
26.
I have the lucky advantage. 3 re-rolls per game for any dice result of 1. So I had 2 1s, so I'm going to re-roll those. Star Child rolled a 31.
Wow. And Corey?
Dr. Puddles has an 18.
Okay. And Night Owl rolled a 21. So, Todd, you go first. The Humvee tears after the Mustang, and spotting an opening, Starchild veers up onto a sidewalk and passes some snared up traffic and closes the distance by about 50%. Todd, are you trying anything cool while you're in pursuit during this round?
I'm cranking up the radio.
And then, Kyle, I believe you're next with 26.
Yeah, there's a cement truck that pulls out in front of Night Owl, and John Dynasty shoots the levers on the back, and cement just spews out onto the roadway.
Ooh.
It gets caught up in the gravel. Some of it ruins the paint job on the Mustang.
So you see it swerve to miss most of it, but a lot of it gets snared up in the already flat driver's side tire. You see the Mustang kind of bouncing merrily as he tries to speed away.
John Dynasty yells, "Your resale's gonna suck, bro!"
And I was successful, but my wagers mean that I'm going to be driving with the same level of kind of maneuverability for the next couple of rounds. Corey, the way this is going to work for you is... So this is a very narrative-driven game. The rules as written describe winning a risk, one of your roles, as gaining privilege. And what that means is gaining privilege to narrate part of the story. So since you're running Overwatch, Corey, I'm going to let you, for the next... How many did you wager?
2.
Okay. And you were successful. So for the next 2 rounds, Corey, you can kind of describe the lay of the land while they're trying to catch Night Owl.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you basically a designation for the distance between them or the general situation, but you kind of can narrate what's around them, what they can possibly use to close the distance, anything like that.
Okay.
All right. So they've closed the distance by about 50%. They're a quarter mile from the Mustang and closing in as it sloshes through the bare bit of cement. Of course, they also have to get around this mess on the highway now. So, Corey, give us a couple details here.
Quick, turn a destra. The only English he forgot to learn was left and right. So. Damn it. Okay, Dr. Puddles tells John and Star, be careful, in the passing lane ahead, there is a 90-year-old woman whose turn signal has been on for 4 miles. She drive slow. But in the right lane, there is a student driver who would be easily run off the road, and you can get past faster.
So Star Child is going to, in fact, sideswipe the student driver.
All right. So that means, Todd, you're basically going to get 2d6 bonus dice to your driving.
I only say this because I want revenge for my dead sons. I know this will send me to hell.
So, Kyle, Todd gets the bonus this round, but depending on what Corey comes up with later, there may be bonuses for
Sure.
the violence you intend to inflict.
All right.
So we're in second round now. Corey doesn't need to roll. His wager is going to carry over for the next 2. And I also wagered 2, so my driving and maneuvering is going to hold up for the next 2 rounds. That leaves me free to commit other acts like trying to shoot back, which Night Owl is going to do this time.
With that 3D help from Dr. Puddles, that's going to make my dice pool 11 for
Okay.
Star Child.
All right.
I would assume for shooting at us, you would be using violence.
Yep.
Star Child has a benefit where he is skilled at disrupting plans. Any agent who makes a violence risk against me must set aside dice from their pool equal to my rank.
Okay. And your rank is actually
2.
2. Okay.
So you lose 2 dice.
Okay.
And shouldn't you lose more because you're full of bullets and driving on a flat tire?
Oh, I've already penalized myself 2 dice. There is a little bit of trust pool remaining, so I'm at least maintaining a decent roll, but I'm only rolling 6 dice.
John Dynasty's going to climb out the sunroof to get a good shot. He's going to put one foot on the roof, the other's on the back of Star Child's seat. It's risky, but it's what John Dynasty does. He's going to take aim, talking himself through. All right, Bubba. It's just like when you shot that old cow back on the farm. The one that what's leg was all up with gangrene. Oh, smelled like 4 bags of shit in a 4-pound bag. What? All right, I guess I'll just shoot him.
It smelled like an appropriate fit.
So I'm going to use violence and dangerous, cold-blooded for a free wager, plus rank, and I'm going to use one of them trust points.
All right.
Hold on just 1 second. I realize that obviously we don't have video of this, but for those of you listening at home, Kyle just went to such a stupid place. I think he blacked out for a good 3 seconds.
He shook his head like a dog trying to get water out of its ears.
Somewhere in space and time, Colostomy Dave smiles.
I rolled 2 1s and I have 3 re-rolls. I've only used 1, so I'm going to re-roll those.
Okay.
All right, Star Child rolled a 32.
Okay. Damn.
I also rolled a 32
Wow.
with 3 violence wagers.
Todd, tell us what deft maneuver you're making to set your buddy up for making what is hopefully the final shots of the mission.
As we're speeding down the street, they come upon one of those cars that hauls other car. You know, one of those big semi trucks that has like 6 new cars that they're delivering to the dealership.
Yeah.
It's got like a little ramp on it.
Yeah.
And so
What are you going to do?
So Star Child is gonna like hit the gas, fly up the ramp, and just sort of dukes a hazard through the air, giving John Dynasty a clear shot at Night Owl as they fly by.
There's that one point where we're spinning through the air and the Humvee's upside down and John Dynasty's just looking down straight into the top of the Mustang, which also has its sunroof open because we're in sunny Nassau, Bahamas, and everybody's enjoying the sunshine
Yes,
and the
that's the
fresh
thing
air.
they put into 69 Mustangs with
And
sunroofs.
This is my story.
It's a spy Mustang.
And John Dynasty has a perfect headshot lined up, and he says, 1 shot, 1 kill, and then he fires all the rounds of the gun. Just every single one. Just every round. Reloads, fires again.
Austin, we know how spy movies work. I mean, I've seen Exit to Eden.
John Dynasty also throws a beer on the windshield of the student driver.
That's a given. Waves at the old lady. Hey, Meemaw.
We cut to the point of view of Night Owl for a moment, pulling off his skipper's cap disguise. He's finally fed up with this nonsense, and as he looks back to start firing back, he sees nothing. He sees no Humvee behind him. What's happening? And then there's this grind of metal, and the Humvee roars up the ramp of this, for some reason, empty car carrier semi, and flies through the air, kind of flipping as it goes along, and corkscrewing through the air. There's that pull slide sound effect from Man with the Golden Gun. And
Yes, the one everyone's familiar with.
yes, the
Love that.
the one that everyone loves.
Man, I'm going to have to put a sound effect in for that.
And Night Owl looks up and appears to be looking directly into the face of John Dynasty, who unloads his gun into the entire cab of the Mustang.
Does he also flip him off like Tom Cruise in Top Gun when he's flying upside down over the MiG?
What do you think he's pulling the triggers with?
He does. One of the last coherent thoughts going through Night Owl's brain is, I didn't know I had a sunroof. And as he raises his gun to fire one last desperate volley toward his enemies, the Humvee just crunches on top of the fucking Mustang and roars off down the highway.
Why did I remove my bulletproof skipper hat?
As they're rolling down the road, speeding away, John Dynasty settles back into the cab next to Star Child, takes off his sunglasses, and says, "Now seriously, man, that was the guy we were supposed to kill, right?"
Star Child says, "You bet your ass it was. You know, you've heard of Dr. Puddles. Well, now you can call me Dr. Love." I don't know what that has to do with anything.
I don't know, man. Sounds like a pretty cool nickname.
I like it.
StarChild.com.
Dr. Puddle says, I am dying.
Come back and thank me. You guys make your escape and take your leave from the Bahamas, but now with the cloud of a dark threat looming over the intelligence community.
John Dynasty?
Well, aside from that, they've
Oh.
learned how to deal with that over the years. So you've taken out one of the top agents working for Crudesco, who later, as you learn going through the briefcase materials, turns out to be a former British agent gone rogue from MI6 and working for Crudesco. You've taken out one of their top agents, but now this new organization sits poised in their brand newly acquired factory in Cape Town, South Africa, ready to take on the world and the world's intelligence communities with the intelligence they have.
Oh, yes. The famous evil organizations such as Spectre, Cobra, and Crudesco.
I mean, are they hiring? Asking for a friend.
Starchild immediately gets to work publishing a role-playing game based on their adventures, which you can get at starchild.com.
The end. Question mark.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, you know, we'll see what the audience return is. But if the box office is good enough,
How'd you guys like the system?
It's very simple.
It's simple in its base mechanics. There's just so much on top of it that is meant to empower acts of intrigue and, you know, the espionage that goes with it.
Well, it's definitely favors the players.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Big time.
But, I mean, I had fun with it.
Yeah, it's still fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it actually, this one inspired me a little bit because I've been kind of kicking around and writing a game that I thought would empower a lot of these values in a way that is a bit more elegant and uses a lot of the mechanics that I've come to love being on the show, actually. We've played a lot of games, and there's a lot of them that have some very elegant, very efficient, and very seemingly simple, but very robust mechanics that allow for a lot of what this implies.
It's inspired me too, Austin, because I have started writing John Dynasty /fic.
Awesome.
StarChild.com. Well, that was still fun, and I had fun telling the story. Thanks
Good.
you guys for letting me run another game.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And if you're playing a game where you get to roll like 20 dice at a time, you're going to need 20 dice. You know where you can get 20 dice or however many dice you want? NorseFoundry.com. Go to NorseFoundry.com. They got dice. There's all different shapes and sizes and colors and materials. They also have different kinds of merch, t-shirts and whatnot. And it's high quality, good shit. So go to NorseFoundry.com. And when you check out, enter promo code CHAM, that's CHAM, for the Bastard Quest 10% discount. NorseFoundry.com.
Most of the shapes are dice shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right there on the banks of the Ohio River.
We were there last night.
We were.
Yep.
Saw some live music, drank bourbon.
John Dynasty flipped a Humvee over Barrel and Bond.
Yeah.
Landed right in the bathroom.
Yeah, drowned in the toilet. But thank you for listening to Bastard Quest. We do appreciate it. If you've made it this far, especially, or if you're a Patreon member, we love you very much.
God bless you.
Thanks for listening. I'm Colin.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.